What is going on, guys and girls? Hopefully, you guys can hear me and hear me okay. This is going to be a live stream. This is going to be questions that I have captured over the years with interviews with Amazon, with Comcast, with different companies. Those questions and answers I'm going to share with you. Just for your knowledge, I was selected at Amazon, and yeah, but I didn't choose that offer. I chose a better offer. So those questions, I've also talked to other people who have worked at Amazon and given the interviews. Those questions I will be sharing with you guys and through the means of this live stream. Just want to make sure that my voice is clear and you guys can hear me okay. New to this live streaming thing, so it will be inspect and adapt, just the Scrum philosophy, inspect and adapt and whatnot. So yes, so let's get started. So these questions, these are going to be a lot of value for people who want to be Scrum Masters, people who are looking to become Scrum Masters in the United States or in India or different countries, wherever you guys located. And these questions will also give you a glimpse into how the process is run from an inside scope, how the teams are managed, how the process is run. I have a lot of experience doing that. I have done it for almost all of my adult life, working with stakeholders, product owners, team members, you name it. So it's going to give you a lot of knowledge and a lot of depth in understanding how the process actually works, which will help you a lot in your interview process. So I want to make this channel a one-stop shop for people who are trying to crack interviews, people who are trying to become Scrum Masters or product owners, and give them the knowledge that they need. If you are not a someone who's looking for an interview, if you are someone who just runs a company and who's a member in a company, who's a developer in a company, and who has to do Scrum Master job for some months, or it's a new company and Agile is new, and you're trying to become a Scrum Master, learn how the job is done and all, this can be very, very beneficial for you. So listen close. So we are going to start with the first question. The first question is, let me first of all let me put something on the screen so that so that you just don't look at a black screen. Let me put something over here. Let me see how to do that. I'm new with this thing. Oh boy. So I cannot figure that out. So guys, please bear with me. The screen is blank. It's black screen. Please bear with me. And completely new to this. Next time it will not be like that. I promise you guys. So the first question, guys, that came up is, what is enabler stories? Okay, they are also called spikes. They are also called enabler stories. So what is an enabler story? So anything, any story that directly adds value to the customer is a user story. Any user story that doesn't directly add value to the customer is a enabler story or a spike story. What that means is basically a story that is needed or required to perform the job well, to perform the duties of the job well, to perform the goal, to reach the goal of the sprint. That's things that help with that is what an enabler story is. So for example, we are working on a login feature, right? We are working on login feature. We are going to start building the login feature, the front end of things, and connect that with the logic and the back end of things. But there is, so if the story is like something like, okay, for example, before we start we have to analyze, what infrastructure we are going to use, what backend service are we going to use, is it available or not, what analyzation do we need to do, what information do we need to gather that we need to put into that front page, or things like that, that do not directly add value to the customer but that are required for the team to reach its sprint goal. That is what we would classify as a enabler story, a spike. It can be something like, oh, we just need to analyze something, we just need to write a report, just need to do some documentation, and we'll be okay, and we'll know what we have to do. That can be a spike. That can be a enabler story. Okay, now some teams like support teams, security teams, the only stories they work on is enabler stories, because the other team is working on user stories while they are there to support them. So the only stories that they are working on are enabler stories. So that is what an enabler story is. And when you are giving an example in an interview, you have to first explain what an enabler story is, then go into the example. Okay, for example, we are working on this login feature, and we have to analyze some information to make sure that the backend server is available, or that testing server is available or whatnot. And that analyzation, we are labeling it as a spike, as a technical spike, or as an enabler story. So that is what an enabler story is. Okay, so that is the first question. What is an enabler story? Explain it with an example. Moving on to the next question, which is a very very good question, because it will help you with safe framework. Safe is now, it's a lot in demand right now, and if you know safe, you can do a lot of things. So the second question is,